Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 secret behind the scenes photos from your favorite TV shows. We all love watching TV shows, whether you're binging them on Netflix or watching them live on TV. While things may seem all normal to us viewers, sometimes there's actually some pretty shocking things going on behind the scenes. Prepare to never see your favorite shows the same way again. And before we get started, be sure to click the link in the top right corner to check out my second channel, The Crafty. And why not subscribe and press the notification bell for top 10s too. Coming in at number 10, we have Bear Grylls. We all know Bear Grylls as the most extreme survivalist in the world. His motto is to improvise, adapt, and overcome. Thanks to this, he's known for only eating what he finds in the wild and sleeping outside, and also drinking his own pee. However, it's not all that tough for Bear in reality. On the set of Man vs. Wild, a rope expert, food expert, medical expert, and many other crew members are there to help him out. And although he builds shelters, he doesn't really stay in them overnight like how it's made to look. It's very pre-planned, and there will always be the right components out in the wild for him to find so that he can craft anything he needs for the show. It's clear it's pre-planned, as every shot is filmed perfectly and is totally in focus. Some even claim Bear stayed in 5-star hotels while shooting the show before. And in 2007, a photo of him eating pizza with his crew leaked online, causing many people to call him a phony. Don't get me wrong, Bear does still do some impressive stuff, but just know it's not all sleeping rough and drinking your own pee like you might think. Next up is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This is one of the most beloved TV shows of the 90s, and I'm pretty sure any 90s kid won't be able to resist singing along to the Fresh Prince theme tune. We all know the amazing characters in the show, from Philip to Carlton, but of course the main star of the show, Will Smith, is the most memorable. Smith now says he likes and is proud of the show, but the reason why he actually agreed to star in the Chance TV show back in 1990 was not because he loved the character's concept or anything like that. It was actually to get him out of huge debt. Before The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith was a rapper and actor who'd been in a few other things. He had a true passion for rapping and preferred doing that to acting. However, due to poor money management, he racked up a $2.8 million back tax bill. Yeah, owing the IRS nearly $3 million would make most people jump on anything that offered them a bit of cash. He reluctantly accepted the role in the show that people weren't sure was going to be a hit. Luckily though, it was, and Smith soon began earning a nice bit of money. However, for the first 4 years of the show, the IRS took 70% out of each paycheck to pay his back taxes. Remember kids, if you ever become a rapper or actor, be sure to get a good accountant. Or don't, and you could end up on one of the biggest TV shows ever. Next up is Modern Family. Modern Family is one of the most popular shows on US TV right now. The show comprises of 3 different families who make up one big modern family. However, many fans' most popular family is the Dunphy family. It consists of Alex, who is super smart, Haley, who's very irresponsible, Claire and Phil, who are the parents, and Luke, the dumb one. Now, Luke may seem very dim-witted in the show, but in real life, this is simply not the case. Amazingly, Nolan Gold, who plays Luke, is one of the smartest young stars in Hollywood. In fact, he's probably smarter than most fully grown adults. He became a member of Mensa at just 13. For those who don't know, Mensa is an organization that only admits the top 98% of IQs in the world. His IQ is 150, which is incredibly good for anyone, let alone a 13-year-old. Not only that, Nolan is also an avid sports player, so he seems to be an all-round amazing person. But I'm pretty sure this kid could be the next Elon Musk if he ever wanted to give up acting for academia. Next up, we have 30 Rock. 30 Rock is the hilarious show created by former SNL writer Tina Fey. The actors are all adored by the show's fans, such as Tracy Morgan, Scott Adsit, and Jane Krakowski, to name a few. But who could forget the 2 main stars, Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin? The 2 have to work very closely, so you might assume they got on like a house on fire. But in case you've never seen any paparazzi altercation with him ever, you'll know that Alec Baldwin has a very short temper. But it seems like that's not just with the paps, it's with his co-stars too. Alec Baldwin and Tina Fey are apparently often feuding. Baldwin has been known to get angry over his lack of creative control, saying he feels like an employee instead of a collaborator. Baldwin's character, Jack Donaghy, is one angry guy, but this seems to carry over to Baldwin's real-life persona. Maybe he's just really getting into character when him and Tina Fey feud. But it is kind of surprising these 2 don't get on well, and maybe a sad shock to many 30 Rock fans. Not only that, Baldwin recently said there's been a dip in quality since season 5. What do you think? Is the show really getting worse, or is Baldwin just showing off his inner Jack Donaghy? Next up is Bob's Burgers. Less odd scandals and feuds tend to happen on animated shows compared to live-action ones. But this doesn't mean there aren't any dark or shocking secrets behind the scenes of your favorite cartoons. Bob's Burgers is very light and humorous right now, but when the show was first conceived, the family weren't just supposed to eat burgers, but people too. That's right, it sounds crazy, but the original pitch involved the Belcher family being cannibals. The creator, Lauren Beauchard, said he was inspired by Sweeney Todd and wanted there to be a show about a cannibal family running a restaurant. In hindsight, that does sound entertaining, but I don't know if they'd be able to combine comedy and cannibalism cannibalism that well. Fox, the network the show's broadcast on, loved the show, except the cannibal part, which was a fairly significant factor of the show. However, they wanted to get it on air, so they figured losing the cannibal edge wouldn't be the end of the world. And now we can enjoy a less haunting version of Bob's Burgers that won't permanently scar us all. Fox does some questionable things, but I think this was a good call. What do you think? Could you watch Bob eat another person or not? Next up, we have X-Files. This one is more funny than the creepy Bob's Burger fact we just had. Well, it's funny for us at least, but it's very embarrassing for one of the stars of the X-Files. And it's all to do with the height of Gillian Anderson. She's 5'2", but her male co-star David Duchovny is 6 foot. In day-to-day life, this height difference wouldn't be a big deal, but on TV it stands out like a sore thumb. So thanks to this, Gillian Anderson has to stand on top of a box for most of the filming. The box was dubbed the Scully Box, thanks to her character's name on the show, FBI Special Agent Dana Scully. It must have been kind of embarrassing and hard for Gillian to keep a straight face while filming standing on a plastic box. And it was apparently awkward when filming too, as she couldn't move about too much or have her feet shown while walking. However, the height difference would have looked really weird on camera, so it's a good thing they did this. And Gillian isn't the only character who's had to endure the box before. In a few Tom Cruise movies, he's standing on a box to match another character's height. Cruise is 5'5", which is 0.3 inches taller than Gillian, but it goes to show being a small person in Hollywood is tough. Don't believe me? Ask the dwarf that got thrown across a room by Leonardo DiCaprio. Next up is Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is regarded as one of the best TV shows in the last 10 years. Everything about it was amazing, especially the acting. One actor who had their breakout role in the show was Aaron Paul, who played Walter White's former student and criminal accomplice Jesse Pinkman. Jesse is a staple of the show, and it would be hard to imagine the show without him. But that's how the show's producers imagined things at first. Believe it or not, Jesse was supposed to die in the show's first season. Vince Gilligan, the show's creator, stopped writing the first season during the 2008 writers' strike. Thanks to this, he had time to reflect, and as he was thinking about it, he went back and redid many episodes so that Jesse would be spared. He later became a key part, sometimes even being more important than Walter in a few episodes. All I can say is I'm glad the writer's strike happened, otherwise we'd be living in a Jesse Pinkman free world. Next up is Teletubbies. Teletubbies is every kid's favourite show growing up. You probably watched them growing up and remember it vividly. But the Teletubbies show is now 20 years old. And this is what the Sun Baby looks like today. Feel old yet? But now onto the amazing behind the scenes fact. We all remember those giant bunny rabbits they used to use. Well, it turns out those bunnies are really gigantic species of rabbits. Often things would go wrong with them while filming, and they'd have to retake. And the actors in the hot Teletubby suits would often get very angry at the rabbits when they weren't behaving well on camera. Also, most people think the Teletubbies is filmed in a giant hillside like how it's presented in the show. However, this is false, and it's actually all shot in a large backyard. This is really surprising as the effect of the yard looks really realistic. However, now it's all animated to save money, so no more backyards or big rabbits are involved. Also, the actors are pretty old now and may not still want to be dancing around in giant colourful suits when they're 60. Next up is The Big Bang Theory. On Modern Family, we've already uncovered that the main dumb character is actually a genius. But The Big Bang Theory is a lot closer to the truth when it comes to the character of Amy Farrah Fowler. Amy is Howard Wolowitz's girlfriend, however her character description reads as a female counterpart to Sheldon. This is because she's pretty awkward but also super smart. Well, it turns out it's not just the character who is very smart. The actress who plays Amy, Mayim Bialik, also has a PhD of her own in neuroscience. And what's more, she's used to check the formulas and facts on the show, as the other characters don't have her kind of brains. Believe it or not, even Jim Parsons, who plays Sheldon, admitted to not being very good at math or science despite being the nerdy character. Next up is Game of Thrones. We all know that this show goes into a lot of detail. So much detail in fact that some of the characters speak made-up languages. They're not just speaking gibberish though. HBO actually got a guy named David J. Peterson, a famous linguist, to invent various languages for the show. The first language he made was Dothraki dialect, which comprises of over 2,000 words and is inspired by Mongolian. This really shows the crazy detail and dedication that goes into each episode of GOT. I guess that's why the fans love it and why it takes so darn long just to make one single episode. Another thing Game of Thrones is famous for is having celebrity cameos in the show. Now the viewers may like this, but believe it or not, many of the regular actors do not. A singer from Snow Patrol, the drummer from Coldplay, Ed Sheeran and even Bastille have appeared in the show before. But some people say this cheapens it and simply panders to big audiences. What do you think? Do they have a point, or are these actors being way too insecure? We all know how easy it is to get cut from Game of Thrones, so maybe they're just worried about their own job. But then again, there are some fans who say they have a point. What do you think? Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing behind the scenes secret. And be sure to check out my second channel, The Crafty. There'll be a crafty video popping up on screen in a second, so click it and subscribe too. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.